and volunteerism, creating social impact through immersive experience. Before we begin, let's go over a few ground rules to ensure a smooth and respectful session for everyone. First, give full attention to the webinar. And second, mute your microphone when you are not talking. And third, keep your camera on. And fourth, use raise hand or chat to ask questions. And the last but not least, make this room a safe place to learn and share. Today, we will engage in this insightful discussion with our esteemed speaker who will share their knowledge and experience in promoting peace and creating social impact through immersive experience. We invite you to open your heart and minds as we learn from one another and explore how we can work together to build a more peaceful world. Now, I would like to introduce our extraordinary speaker and guest. We have Chairperson of Global Peace Foundation Indonesia, Dr. Feni Eka Kristianto, and distinguished speaker, Mr. Agus Kani, as the Executive Director of Pacific Asia Travel Association, or PATA Indonesia chapter, and the Dean of Faculty of Art Design and Architecture, Presiden University. And also we have Nicholas Lee, as Head of Outreach and Volunteering at the Global Peace Foundation Malaysia. And also, we have Cynthia Rahmi Utami as initiator of Tour Heal Peace. So let us begin this journey of peace and collaboration and empowerment. And thank you once again for all partners, speakers, and guests for being here. And let's make this webinar a memorable and impactful experience. Now, we would like to invite everyone to listen to our national anthem, Indonesia Raya. You can sing along or simply enjoy the moment as we honor our country. Thank you for that uplifting rendition of our national anthem, Indonesia Raya. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce our special guest, Dr. Feni Eka Kristianto, who will be giving her opening remarks. Dr. Feni Eka Kristianto is the chairperson of Global Peace Foundation Indonesia, and we are very happy to have her with us today. Please join me in giving her a warm virtual welcome as she shares her remarks and officially starts our event. Dr. Fenika, the screen is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Sarin. Good afternoon and warm greetings to all distinguished speakers. Dr. Agus Kani, Julie is my good friend, as the Executive Director of the Pacific Asia Travel Association, Indonesia chapter, and Dean of Faculty of Arts, Design, and Architecture, President University, Nicholas Lee, as Head of Outreach and Volunteering at the Global Peace Foundation Malaysia, and Cynthia Rahmi Utami as initiator of Tour Heal Peace, as well as our beloved partners and participants. It is an honor and a pleasure for me to welcome you to our webinar today with the title Youth, Tourism, and Volunteerism, Creating Social Impact Through Immersive Experience. I would like to extend my sincere appreciations to everyone who has taken the time to join this important discussion. In recent years, tourism has undergone a meaningful transformation. It is no longer seen merely as an activity for leisure and recreation, but increasingly as a platform for social engagement, cultural exchange, and community development. Data from the data from the United Nations World Tourism Organizations shows that young people represent nearly one-fifth of international tourist movement worldwide. This places youth in a strategic position as key actors who will shape the future directions of global tourism. Alongside this growth, we are witnessing a rising interest among young people in purpose-driven travel. Many youth travelers today are seeking experiences that go beyond sightseeing. They want to contribute, to learn, and to make a positive difference. Volunteerism has therefore become a crucial dimension of youth tourism, whether through community service, educational initiative, environmental conservation, or humanitarian action. This trend is closely aligned with global priorities. Volunteerism is recognized by the United Nations as a vital component in achieving the Sustainability Development Goals, particularly in promoting inclusive development, empowering communities, and strengthening global partnerships. Youth participation in volunteer-based programs continues to grow, driven by increased awareness of issues such as climate change, social inequality, and cultural preservation. However, we must also acknowledge the challenges. Research reminds us that volunteer tourism, if not approached responsibly, can raise ethical concerns, including misaligned interventions, limited community involvement, and unequal power relations. These realities highlight the importance of community-centered approaches, long-term impact, and responsible engagement. Against this backdrop, this webinar aims to serve as a critical and inclusive space for dialogue. So through shared learning and open discussion, we hope to explore how tourism can move beyond consumption toward contribution, and how youth-led initiative can generate sustainable social impact, strengthen cross-cultural understanding, and contribute to peace building at both local and global levels. So I encourage all participants to actively engage, reflect, and share perspective throughout this session. May today's discussion inspire us to reimagine tourism and volunteerism as power tools for social change and peace. Thank you, and I hope this webinar will be meaningful and impactful for all of us.
Thank you very much, Dr.
berwebinar.
Veneca
Have a good time.
Cristianto, for inspiring words and warm welcome. And we appreciate your insights and your commitment to promoting peace and understanding to our community. And also your presence here today adds great value to our events, and we are very grateful for your support. Thank you once again, Dr. Veneca. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our moderator for today's discussion, Isman Habibillah, Communication Manager of Global Peace Foundation Indonesia. He has academic background in international relations and a strong focus on peace building, interfaith collaboration, and global citizenship. He has extensive experience working in multicultural environment and he has been actively involved in overseas volunteer programs and international peace initiatives. Collaborating with youth leaders and volunteers from various countries, through this experience, he has represented Indonesia in regional and global forums, contributing to cross-cultural dialogue, cultural exchange, and collaborative efforts to promote peace and social cohesion. Today's session will be facilitated by Isman, who will guide the discussion and engage with our speakers and participants. Please join me in giving a warm virtual welcome to Isman Habibillah as he takes over as our moderator for the remainder of the event.
Thank you, Cherin, for the welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. Selamat siang. I'm really honored and thrilled to have you today for this important discussion. Before we jump to our discussion, let me introduce myself. My name is Isman Habibillah. For the next hour, I will guide this session as your moderator. Today is such a good day to gather together and learn more about youth, tourism, and volunteerism. Before anything else, let me briefly explain the flow of today's webinar. Our discussion will be divided into 3 sessions with 3 different outstanding speakers that already joined us this afternoon. Of course, they come from different backgrounds and institutions. We are honored to have our first outstanding speakers with us. Welcome on board Mr. Dr. Agus Kani, MA, MSc from PATA, Indonesia. And for the second speakers, we have our good brother from Global Peace Foundation Malaysia, Nicholas Lee. And third, we have our sister from Tur Hill Peace, Miss Cynthia Rahmi Utami. Additionally, we'll have a Q&A session. So if you have any question to discuss with the speakers, please feel free to drop your question to chat box. And more than Q&A session, we also have focus group discussion to wrap up the discussion up. Without further ado, let's get started and learn together. And be sure to drop down your question during the presentation if you have something in your mind, so you can share them later on. Before we start to hear our 3 outstanding speakers, so let's doing some of ice breaking to refresh our mind and to prepare to join this discussion. So we have one question to all the participants. What type of volunteer activity would you like to do while traveling? So this interesting question for us. As my experience, I also have that kind of activity while I traveling. For example, last year I traveled to Malaysia and have some of social project there with Orang Asli community or indigenous people there. So that's one of my best experience, not only visiting some of the tourism place or eat some of Malaysian food, but I also have that kind of opportunity to learn directly from Orang Asli community and also can get some of insight there, living together with the Orang Asli community and have great conversation with Orang Asli. So that's my experience, one of my best experience while I'm traveling. I'm sure that you all already have some of experience, and you can share your wish travel. For example, can give which country that you want to visit and what kind of social activity that you want to do while your travel. So feel free to give your answer, and we'll share to everyone your answer and discuss together. So for example, while you're thinking, imagine just landed in your dream destination. What kind of help do you see yourself giving there? For example, I'd like to doing some of uh, kind of social media content products production. So while I'm traveling, I also capture some of videos, some of photos to share to my friend in social media. No right or wrong answer here. So just share your insight. So just share your answer there. All right. So we have 13 answer here. So because for me, travel is not just about visiting some of famous or popular place, but uh, nowadays I also thinking what kind of activity that I can do while I travel, either social or volunteering activity. Not only me, but some of my friends also thinking of that. So please share your answer, and we'll share to everyone. Okay, we have 18 answer already. So maybe we can see the result, and let's see what the answer that we already got. I will read one by one. All right. Thank you for your answer, everyone. So while we're waiting, I really appreciate your answer. Wait. Okay. You can also answer through our chat box below. Okay, we have 18 answer here already. Let's see what we got from the answer. Kisi, please share again the answer, the full answer, the full result. Okay. Wait, wait. Hmm? Okay. All right. We have from Dio humanities. Wow, very good experience. Culinary exploration. Yeah, I'd like to exploring some of local food, looking at nature, environment, and enjoy volunteering in education and Kumu. I guess this is from teachers. I guess from Lily's environmental volunteers. Oh, that's a lot. Environmental answer here, as we see the current disaster that happened in Indonesia. Lingkungan, environment, supporting children. Wow, very good. I would like to help local communities. Same with me, with orang asli. Culinary authentic meal. Yeah, I'd like to pick up trash. This Mahmudi also environment. Something about environment like planting or turtle. Have fun, do fun things. Social volunteer for Lydia. I went Yogyakarta because I like history. From I am Mandri, Council and Association of Regional Students. Oh, this means conference. Photo, yes. Help with sports coaching. Wow, very good. So thank you for your answer. It's really interesting to know about your interests while you are traveling. So there's a lot of reason that we do when we are traveling. Not only not only just listening or taking picture, but there's a lot activity that actually we can do while we are traveling. So thank you everyone for your answer. So let's jump to the next session. For the first session, we will have our first outstanding speakers, Dr. Agus Kani, MA, MSc. But before that, let me briefly introduce our first speakers. Dr. Agus Kani is an Indonesian tourism and business leader who served as the executive director of the Pacific Asia Travel Association, Indonesia chapter. He is now serving as Dean Faculty of Art, Design, and Architecture, President University, and widely recognized for his role in strengthening collaboration among tourism stakeholders and promoting sustainable, inclusive tourism development in Indonesia and the Asia Pacific region. With an academic background at the postgraduate level and extensive experience in leadership, marketing, and industry engagement, Dr. Agus Kani actively contributes to initiatives that bridge government, private sector, and community efforts to support resilient and responsible tourism growth. Wow, we're really grateful and fortunate to have Mr. Agus Kani that already joined us this afternoon. We will now hear a presentation from Dr. Agus Kani, MA, MSc on building responsible tourism and community impact in the Asia Pacific region. Let's pay attention and give him a warm welcome. So, Dr. Agus Kani, time is yours.
Okay. Thank you. Can you hear my voice? Hello?
Yes, doctor, we can hear your voice clearly.
Okay, thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. To our fellow youth leaders, students, and practitioners to joining us today. A very welcome to all of you. Next slide, please. So, my name is Agus Kani. I'm coming from Pata, Indonesia. I'm acting as the executive director since 2011 up to now. And this is a true privilege to be here at a UGen webinar. Next slide, please. Allow me to briefly introduce myself. Before, I'm acting as the executive director of Pata Indonesia since 2011 up to date, where I lead our efforts to connect the national tourism industry with a global Pacific Asia network. So I have been traveling all over the world with every year since 2011 up to date, up to last year already. So as I'm acting as the Pata Indonesia, I'm connected to the national tourism industry all over the world with the global Asia Pacific network. So Pata Indonesia has connecting with most big giant corporation worldwide. So in case of our friends, our brothers here would like to connect with the big giant corporation, just call Pata Indonesia chapter. So we will connect you with that company. So in addition, my role at Pata, I am also as the President and CEO of the World Tourism Day Indonesia is under UNWTO. UNWTO is United Nations Tourism Organization or PBB. dedicated to fostering sustainable tourism and strengthening the academic industry and synergy through our network. For Indonesia, we have been networking with more than 25 leading private universities who has their own study program on tourism. So every month we are conducting a seminars, a discussion, talk show, and we are collaborating to set up something in tourism. So for students or young leaders who like to join, welcome. And we are very happy to work together with all of you. So I also serve as the Dean of Faculty Art and Design under the Network of Fathers of Residency. So this is all the universities that have been working with us. So my professional journey is centers on human capital development. This is bridging the strategic powers of the industry within the academic world to ensure that the next generations of leaders is ready to drive social impact across the Asia Pacific region. So most every day, at least in every week, we have an incoming inquiries all over the world from the university and all the institutions based on the industry worldwide to like to work together with Sparta Indonesia and World Tourism Days of Indonesia. Before we dive into the data, allow me to share why we are here. So PATA, or the Pacific Asia Travel Association, is a global non-profit organization. So the headquarters is in Bangkok as well as in Shanghai, China. But for Indonesia chapters, we directly reporting to the Bangkok headquarters. And the PATA itself is a very powerful catalyst for responsible tourism. We act as a massive bridge, connecting thousands of members organizations worldwide, from international airlines, the global hotel chains, tourism, digital big data, and government tourism bodies. In Indonesia, we work with the Ministry of Tourism of Government of Indonesia. It's almost every month we have a meeting, we are discussion how to empower, how to promote Indonesia at overseas. So Partai Indonesia doesn't rely on promoting within domestic, but we are promoting most to outside of Indonesia. So the Partai itself, we collaborate with nearly all major tourism company and all tourism association in Indonesia, ensuring that our industry remain vibrant and global connected. But before we believe that the heart of tourism actually is education. That's why we work closely with World Tourism Day Indonesia, and we maintain a strategic network with more than 25 universities. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Yeah. Back to the slide before. That is the big corporation company who are connecting with Partai Indonesia. More is around 60 or nearly 100 big giant corporation. So we welcome to our friend Indonesia, to the young leaders or students who like to access to that big giant company. Please mostly welcome to connect with Partai Indonesia. We are open and all is free. Next, please. I'm just showing this is big giant China, Taj Mahal in India, and Borobudur. Let me explain what is the Borobudur all about. The Borobudur is the largest Buddhist temple in the world. When I came to Borobudur in the 2011, when we are promoting at overseas, no one knows that Borobudur is one of the biggest and largest Buddhist temple. But then slowly we are promoting, we work with all overseas company, then at least now, very aware based on the research. Next slide, please. So this is the evolution of global tourism. Okay. If we next please. So if we look at the data for 2026, we are witnessing is a global phenomenon. You know, there are 168 million arrivals in the US. It's about plus 61% compared to before pandemic. Now it's becoming booming. In Southeast Asia, the sectors is not just rebounding, but it is evolving bigger and bigger in terms of numbers of arrival. We see in the regions of like ASEAN and the Pacific is reaching and exceeding the pre-pandemic level. So when we went to pandemic level, nearly almost zero, even in Indonesian's arrival, nearly black and zero. But now rebounding, not even rebound, but reaching and exceeding the pre-pandemic level. But the evolution itself is just not about the volume, it's driven by new factors. Digital transformation in China is very rapidly, infrastructure development in India, and regional stability in West Asia is the key factors to rebound back to before pre-pandemic level. So when I'm talking the infrastructure surge in India, it is meaning that the massive and rapid development in airport, highway, digital system, and every infrastructure in the city and the urban was developed, not only in India, but most majors in Southeast Asia region or even in the Central Asia was developed. Governments are building fast to prepare millions of visitors coming their way. The map of tourism has been redrawn, and the youth leader, you must understand, the old normal is gone. We are now in the era rapid, massive, and technology-driven movement. So if we started today in January 2026, the world of tourism, it witnessing is a historic comeback. Our data show a massive surge. So now come next slide, please. The changings of face of tourism. Let's look at the changes of face of tourism. The industry we see today is unrecognizable from a decade ago. It has a new face, shaped by three powerful forces. One is digital sovereignty. We saw in China and Korea, tourism is now a mobile first. If a destination isn't digital, it doesn't exist from the modern traveler. Social media and mobile payment that drive the arrival. This becomes a new passport. The safety and well-being post-pandemic, the face of tourism is one of caution and care. Healthy security is no longer an option, it's a fundamental requirement. The rise of prosumer. The travelers are no longer just a consumer, but we call it the traveler is the producer of their own experience. They want to recreate the journey. Next, please. Next, please. So now the intersections of tourism. Next, please. So when talking about this, always usually we are links to the UNWTO perspective. I want to highlight here the very critical perspective from UNWTO or the World Organization or World Tourism Organization. Why do we see this? Because we are considers because the 20% of the arrival is coming from your generation. So we can call that you are a strategic actor. Because representing 20% of the world or 1.5 billion international travelers, so it belongs to you then. This is a massive economic force. But more importantly, the UNWTO see that your generation travel is very differently. Because we are considering that you are the pioneer, you are the authenticity, and you are the digital ambassador. Because when you are moving to everywhere, you make a photo, you post. You make the story, you post. You share your shit, the globals of destination. So now you are become the digital ambassador. Can you imagine the 20% is belong to your generation and you blow up, you post it, you do viraling, then it's a it's a boom. It's a boom. It's a very big giant booming. So at Pata Indonesia, so that's why we are working with more than 25 universities how to grab to work together with your generation. That is one of the reasons why we work together with university. We recognize that the early adopters sustainable travel. So you are not just the leaders of tomorrow, you are the eyes of the UNWTO. You are digital, you are the ambassadors of UNWTO. You are the strategic decision makers of today. So then you are very important to us. Next, please. The powerful, according to the UNWTO, as I stated, the 20%. So the architect of the futures is your generation. Today, we are moving beyond consumption toward the contribution. So that we are here talking about the volunteerism, whether the social media, whether let's say if you are working at Hawaii for social media, or working for SME in Hawaii, or you are working uh, preservation or conserving heritage in India, or you're building community-based tourism in ASEAN. So your role to build the human bridge that infrastructure alone is not cannot create. The next few minutes, let's explore how we can ensure that every trip we take and every project we lead create a lasting a social impact, promote peace, and empowers and local community. Next, please. This is the intersection of travelers and people. The intersection mid-surface and okay, mostly young people like yourself voluntarily spend their time to assist with the project, the beneficial for local community or the environment. But it's clear, volunteerism is not charity, it's a meaningful exchange. You bring your skills, your energy, and your digital literacy in return. So the community gives your wisdom, cultures, insight, and life-changing experience. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next. So based on the information on PATA prediction, there are, can you come back from the next slide, please? From PATA point of view, next slide, please. From PATA point of view, there are three big countries who are contributing very significantly to the market. One is China, number two, India, and number three is Korea. We are projected that three big gigantic country will the role will become a soul and will become the one who will contributing a lot to numbers of arrival in tourism. This is projected from our PATA headquarters. Next, please. Next, please. This is the list. Yes, this is the list of the companies, the list of the countries who are contributing a part of the three countries. Next, please. So I share all numbers of visitors. I share all. This is the real true data from our PATA projecting in each country are contributing to significant numbers in terms of arrival. Because when arrival, meaning is economy, when economy is become sustainable. From US, next please. Next please. This is from US, next please. This is from Northeast Asia. You can see that a very jump by numbers from Northeast. Next please. From Southeast Asia, jump by numbers. in terms of arrival. Next, please. Southeast Asia again jump. West Asia jump. In total, Asia Pacific is jump. So now it's coming in terms of inbound by numbers. Next, please. So this is arrival from US, where to go. We have a list that you can take a look at the slide then. Next, please. From China. Next, please. From Thailand. From Hawaii. Next, please. So you can see the movement, each country, where to go each year. So they can you review how to co-op with their countries. Okay, next please. Hong Kong, the same one. And then next please. Next please. This is Korea as well. Terima kasih. So my dear student and future students, so the infrastructure is now being built. The bridges are connected. The world is awaiting. But infrastructure alone has no soul. It is your energy, your skill, your heart. Let's go together to work together in tourism business. Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Aguskani, for very insightful presentation, and I got a lot of insight, especially how young leaders can become a key role of this tourism industry. Not only tourism industry, but how they can travel and become a digital ambassador. I take note some of interesting insight that fortunately we experienced after COVID-19, the tourism industry not just rebounding, but also increasing. The three that Dr. Kani already shared is digital transformation, regional stabilization, and also infrastructure improvement. And young leaders have a 20% overall tourist in all over the world. So the young leaders is really play a key role to improve that tourist industry. And not only become a key role, but also becoming a digital ambassador because of we really in touch and close with the social media and some of kind of making content and viral something like that. And three countries that projected by PATA that become the role of number one tourist is China, India, and Korea. So thank you, Dr. Kani, for your insightful presentation. It is my pleasure to hear and know directly from you. And after this, it's my pleasure to present certificates of appreciation to Dr. Kani, who already shared the valuable insight with us today. So we will take picture together, Dr. Kani. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Dr. Kani, for your insight and many data that we got today. So if you have a question, please feel free to drop to chat box and we will discuss on Q&A session later on. So Dr. Kani, thank you for your time and your presentation. So without further ado, we will jump to the next speakers. We'll have our brother from Malaysia, Nicholas Lee, who already joined us this afternoon. Before that, I will introduce Nicholas Lee. Nicholas Lee is a Malaysia peace builder and social activist currently serving as head of outreach and volunteering at the Global Peace Foundation Malaysia, where he leads efforts in volunteer recruitment, youth leadership training, strategic partnership, and community-based program development to promote peace and social cohesion. He has over 20 years of experience in global social program development and previously served with Global Peace Foundation chapters in Thailand, Cambodia, and now Malaysia, as well as acting as Secretary General for the Global Peace and Development Service Alliance, a platform that advances collective efforts towards the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals through service and youth engagement. So for this opportunity, Nicholas Lee will be delivering a presentation titled Youth Engagement and Community Empowerment Among Orang Asli Communities. So without further ado, let's focus our minds and give him a warm welcome to our good brother from Malaysia. So, Brother Nick, time is yours.
Thank you, Brother Isman. Can you hear me, everyone? Is the voice okay? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So first of all, I just want to congratulate Global Peace Foundation Indonesia for organizing such a meaningful event, named UGen Webinar 2026. So to my dear friends also, Dr. Fenika, has been a long time. We haven't met each other physically. Glad to see you here. And also to all my distinguished panel speakers, and also all the friends, fellows, and colleagues from all over the world. So good afternoon. I'm honored to be here. And selamat siang also. All right, so I just want to begin my sharing just a bit of introduction about my organization and the works that we are focusing on. And later on, we will move on into our discussion on the topics in youth, tourism, volunteerism, on creating social impact through immersion. All right, so just a bit of background. Global Peace Foundation Malaysia is a non-religious, non-partisan, non-profit organization with a mission is to build a resilient and cohesive Orang Asli communities. For your information, Orang Asli mean the indigenous people. All right. So our head office is based in Petaling Jaya, but most of our field works is located in Pahang. Therefore, we have a field office in Pahang, a small city called Muazzam Shah, and is basically to implement all the project and initiative with the Orang Asli community. And up to date, we already engaged more than 100 villages, and is running 12 impactful programs over the 6 UN Sustainable Development Goals. And I'm honored to share with you Global Peace in year 2020. We received an award for the title of the 6th ASEAN Rural Development and Poverty Eradication Leadership Award. So for outstanding work in championing access to clean water and sanitation. All right, so maybe we can have a bit of introduction if I go through, to telling all you the fact. So it might be a bit boring. So let's have some interaction. What's come to your mind when you hear about Orang Asli? Anyone can type on the chat. Anyone? Yeah, maybe first come to your mind is about culture, right? Yeah. Patui. Where is Patui on the comment? Forest, perhaps, right? In the jungle. Maybe some of us, we have the possession of poverty or wisdom or marginalized community. Yeah, somebody say culture, yeah. No phone. Oh, but Baduy is all asli in Bandung on Indonesia. Nice. Awesome. Maybe you can think of among this word, how does it relate to you? All right. So you can keep on thinking. So poverty, yes. So next slide. Yeah, culture. Just to give some of you a guess. So how many do you think, how many all asli ethnic group are here in Malaysia? Just guess a number. All right. No prize, sorry. just a fun activities. Can anyone guess? All right, you can type in chat box. Maybe next. A little bit 10. Yes. So just a bit for your information. So the population of all asli, we have about slightly more than 200,000, and comprising 18 sub-ethnic groups. And most of them are populated in Perak and Pahang states, and the rest 30% is all over Malaysia. 50% of them categorized as poor, and 1/3 is hardcore poor. All right, and many villages have no basic needs. We call it amenities, routes like electricity, clean water, or even sanitation. And is only 50% of literacy rate, yeah, compared to the 94% national literacy rate. Oh, so this is just some of the fact. Maybe next slide. Okay, so all right, now we come into the topics of volunteering. Okay, so how many of you are volunteers before? Many? Everyone can raise hand. You can say me. Type in the chat box. All right, I believe many of you are volunteers. That's why you are here today in this topic discussion. All right, maybe next. Okay, so when you hear about volunteering, it's actually what comes to your mind, right? What comes to your mind? How does it relate to you? Anyone? Just want to ask moderator, is it allowed participant to speak? No, or they just can type in the chat box. Yeah, Isman. Yeah, helping others. Yep. All right. So in Malaysia, we have this signature program. We call it Global Peace Volunteers Expedition. It's a 7 days program. So perhaps you also can call it a community-based service program. And of course, it has a little bit of the tourism element inside, because it's involved culture experience as well, right? And also the environment activities. All right, so I'm not going to share with you how this 7 days program is and how good or how best is it. So I just want to make this as a study case, right? What have we learned to this Global Peace Volunteer Program if you are involved in so-called community-based service or community-based tourism? All right, so maybe next slide. Okay, a case study. All right, so next. So what Global Peace Volunteer taught us, all right? So I just want to highlight these 3 main components in the Global Peace Volunteer Program. So the first component is about farming. So farming is related to the land, right? The environment. Okay, so the second component is children. You also can involve a community. So this is about people, right? People is about relationships. Okay, so and the third component is about culture, right? Culture is about identity, right? Identity, very important. It's like heritage. Okay. All right. So let's dive into first farming. So in Global Peace Volunteer, we have this highlight program called syntropic farming. It's the all-asli way of doing farming. All right. So can you see this picture? We call it Amai. Amai means auntie. All right. in the community, one of the ethnic group called Jakun. So she has a very happy face. So every time she harvests, it's a very nice vegetable and even fruit. Actually, I forgot to put the fruit picture. Actually, it's in a small plot of land. It's almost like abundance, right? And so just to give all of you a context about what is meant by syntropic farming. Syntropic farming is so simply to say, it's like instead of forcing the land, so all-asli farming, grow their food, right? Grow their produce by respecting how the nature works. So this syntropic farming method is no fertilizer at all, no fertilizer. So it's only simply by nurturing, okay, nurturing the soil and also the life underneath the land. I think some of you just now, Isman, have been there last year in Malaysia, have experienced that, right? So it's basically the way of the all-asli farming method is to respect the land and to nurture the land and to take care of the land. All right. So, okay, next. What do you think we start with farming? Not a workshop. Why? I mean, what do you think? Why do you think we have to start with? Okay, maybe next. Okay, you press next. Oh, okay, maybe some words. Okay, all right. So when the volunteers involved in farming, it's actually they follow the community farming routine, right? It's not somebody go there to tell the all-asli, oh, okay, you should use a new method. There's a more modern method, to grow the farm, right? You're not bringing any new idea, new technologies going there, right? It's basically follow the routine. It's by learning, by doing. It's not teaching anything in the community, all right? And also, volunteers have to adjust to a community pace. I mean, syntropic farming take a lot of time. It's a lot of effort in order to nurture the land to be a fertile land, right? It's take a lot of effort, time. And also, it's a good way, to give back to the community because the intention is for the good of the soil and best for the ecosystem. All right, it's basically to focus, to help the all-asli, to support the all-asli and work with the all-asli and how to take care of the land, right? And the biodiversity and the long-term balance. Yeah, instead of just quick result. So what we eat in the supermarket, in the vegetable, and all kind of cane packaging food, right? That is fast, quick. But when the volunteers go to the community, to the village, they learn about slow pace, and then they learn about the principle of the nature of the land. There's so much wisdom, right? So next. So maybe next. Yeah, you press one more time. Right. All right, sorry. So farming. So what are the key takeaways to this experience? It's taught us about sustainability. Start by respecting the existing wisdom, right? When we talk about sustainability, sometimes we often think like about new ideas, new solution. It's actually it's not, but it's in many communities, the sustainability and the wisdom is already exists, you know. So we just have to support and work with them. Okay. All right. So okay, next move into the next component about children, about the community, right? How we can support the future with the keyword is with the Olasli children and the communities, right? So this is a picture that you have seen, right? When volunteers go to the community, they think about, right? They organize all sort of activities like teaching, right? And how to engage with the kids. Okay. So next, please. Next. Okay, just want to ask you about a question. Do children need our activities or our presence? This is a very valid and relevant question for those who have experience in volunteering, in teaching in the community, in the village. Yeah. All right. So what do you think? Do the children need our activities or our presence? Which one? Anyone? On the chat box? Present. Yeah, present. A lot of people, right? Present. Nice. Thank you. Thank you for the answer. Right. So next, please. Yeah, I mean, presence, right? Why present is so important, right? Right. You have to be there, you know, with them, right? There to feel you, who you are, whether the children feel safe about you, right? First, you have to be present and to be patient, right? And that is very important. And then trust before learning, right? You have to build trust with the community and with the children. You can't teach before trust exists, right? Nothing can go in. Yeah. All right. So play before instruction. Yeah, you're not going there. Okay, let's come, children, gather, you know, and all right, today we're going to have this teaching about arts. Right. So we got to open up the heart, right, and listen and show up and show up consistently, right? And one more point is about boundaries is matter, right? Sometimes kindness without limit can still be heard. I mean, for okay, what I mean about this, right? Sometimes, okay, for example, like if a volunteers like during the activities, they spend too much time with one children, right? One child. Maybe the volunteers like these kids and so much. So throughout the whole volunteer program, you just spend time and then you know, play every day, each day, and share very personal stories and take photograph together, right? So then after 7 days, and the volunteer left. So I mean, what will happen? What are the things that could be happen, right? Yeah. So for some of you, you have experienced, you will know what I'm talking. Yeah. So meaning to say, children are not a project. So they are about relationship, right? It's about relationship. So of course, uh, we talk about boundary here. I talk again about relationship, right? A healthy relationship always has a boundary, right? Always has a boundary. Okay, next, maybe I can elaborate a bit more about this. Yeah. All right. Children, relationship. Okay. Some of the key takeaway. Okay. Next. Right. Impact some from present. Not the performance. Next. Sorry. Next. Sorry. Is it slides working? All right. So these are the one of the key takeaway while we have the volunteer program. So it's between performance and to be present, right? What does this mean, like performance? Performance look like this, right? Like planning many activities so that it's look impactful and wanting the children to respond, and smile and perform, right? And a measure, right? Measure how success is a program by excitement and photos. And it's often like if we focus about performance, it's often like us, oh, did I do something impressive, right? So, but look at present, right? Present is about showing up. It's about being attentive, right? Being calm, right? And being patient, right? When the kids like not really respond to you, right? You have to be patient, right? You have to let the children lead the pace and accept quiet and sometimes boring, right? Sometimes things repeat, right? And present often asks, do the children feel safe, right? Do the children seen? Yeah. So this is very important. It's a connection. It's about human connection, right? It's more than just an activities. Okay, so right, next, let's move into the third component. What are the key lessons learned? So that is about cultural heritage learning. And the volunteer program, of course, we have this very important component. It's about cultural immersion, like dive into the honesty culture and enjoy, the traditional food and learn the unique handicraft and experience and also respect the beauty of the tradition, costume, and lifestyle, right? Okay, let's look into the culture perspective. All right, so a question also, right? To let everyone think, culture, right? Is culture is form of entertainment or as identity? As some people say it's both, right? It's okay, yeah. Culture is about learning, right? Learning. Culture is about learning. It's not consuming. Okay. Same to food, right? Oftentimes when we have program in the OSD in different community, in different village, all of the food in every different places is very different, very unique. And of course, it's very tasty, right? Yeah. But food actually is part of their identity. It's part of their culture, right? Even dance and art is a form of their dignity, right? Not just an activities, but how the community share who they are and their identity, and their stories and their values, and also is a form of empower, self-expression, right? And then to foster resilience, and is a strength and also self-worth. Okay, so culture is not something that we take, but it's something that we are invited into, right? When we are in the community, we feel that invited, right, to be part of the culture. So please be curious when you are in the community, when you're doing volunteering works in the community, right? Be curious. Be curious to ask, not just eating food, not just enjoying the dancing, the arts. Be curious to know more and to ask more, to engage more, right? Okay, next. All right, so that is between judgment and curiosity, right? Judgment is like when the performance going on, right? Maybe some will say, oh, it's just another cultural performance, right? But if you come from the curiosity perspective, and you will ask, what story does this dance or food carry, right? So as a result, you will able to see their history, right? They know about the history and then their culture and become more meaningful and not just entertainment. Okay, all right. Next slide, please. Okay, in culture component, right? Culture is part of their identity. So one of the key takeaway to this volunteer experience is respect, right? Respect is very important. Begins with curiosity rather than a judgment, okay, or prejudice. All right. So next, please. So as we come to the end of my presentation, so when we talk about immersion, to the land, meaning the farming, to the relationship with the children, and to the culture. So all across of all of this experience, so when one lesson it keep coming back to us, right, is about uh, showing up, right? It's about showing up with care and being responsible and also respecting the people we met along the way. And if we can do that, if we can do this, we're already making a difference, a big difference, right, to the community. Okay, so with this, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you so much to everyone for your kind attention. And terima kasih. Thank you. Pass back to our moderator of today, Ismail.
Thank you, Nicholas, for your great presentation. Well, I really miss the Orang Asli community. So, yeah, really interesting to know about the global peace volunteers aspect and activities that already Nicholas said. There's three points that Nicholas shared. That first is farming, second is children, and the last is culture immersion. Farming is not just a farmer, but the farm is synthetic farmer that already exists because sustainability starts by respecting existing wisdom. And the second is children. We're not just activities, but our present is more important than just activities. And human connection is really important. And the third is cultural immersion, not just entertainment, but meaningful experience. Food and dance and arts can become something meaningful for us. So thank you, Nicholas, for your presentation. And please, it is my pleasure to present the certificates of appreciation to our esteemed speakers, Nicholas Lee. So we can take picture together. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you, Nicholas Lee, for your time and great presentation. And we will jump to the last speakers. Following that Nicholas Lee perspective, we will have another outstanding speakers. She's our sister from Turhilpis, Cynthia Rahmi Utami, that will provide us with a different angle. So Cynthia Rahmi Utami is a peace and youth development leader from Global Peace Foundation Indonesia, who actively champions peace building through community engagement and experiential learning. She's closely involved in initiatives such as Tour Hill Peace, which integrates tourism, cultural exchange, and dialogue as a tools for healing, fostering mutual understanding, and also strengthening social cohesion. Through her work, Cynthia empowers young people and local communities to become agents of peace by connecting values of harmony, tolerance, and collaboration with real-world experience that promote sustainable and peaceful societies. So without further ado, we are honored to have her here today to share her insight. So Miss Cynthia, time is yours.
Thank you, Mas Isman, and also thank you for the previous speaker, Dr. Agus and Brother Nick. It's really great to hear the information and the sharing from you. And hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm not gonna give you like the theory or data this time. I just wanna share like a personal story. And I want to tell you a short story about youth, travel, and a lot of uncomfortable learning. And that's why this tour help is birth actually out of the discomfort and that kind of thing. And it's a journey of transformation in youth volunteerism for mutual impact. Next. I actually gonna share these 4 things like my personal journey reflecting on youth volunteerism and its unexpected impacts, and also my work in the Global Peace Foundation, understanding the values and approach that guide our work in the GPF, and also why suddenly tourism approach and how travel can become a vehicle for meaningful learning, for peace building, and also about the social entrepreneurship, the evolution from project to sustainable social enterprise, from like just a charity to something like more sustainable in the form of a social enterprise. So next, I worked for GPF for 15 years, and I thought we were helping. And actually, there's a moment that I reflect myself that how we see the volunteerism. I actually joined the first volunteerism program in 2010, but back then I organized it for first time having Korean students coming to Indonesia in 2013. So from that moment, actually there's many questions also happen in my mind. It's like I was involved in a youth activity where we brought young people to a community with the intention to help. But actually everything looked good. The youth were enthusiastic, the program was short, the photos were beautiful, and of course, the report is also great. But after it ended, I kept asking myself, did we really help, or did we just feel good about ourselves? So I realized that good intentions don't always lead to positive impact. Of course, when we plan, we have a good intentions, but many times it happens that we don't have the positive impact that we want. So these are the discomfort stayed with me, leading to a complete rethinking of our approach in the youth volunteerism. Next. So the Global Peace Foundation, every of our program, we have our guiding principles that first thing first, we have a shared values. Peace begins with the universal values that connect us across cultures and backgrounds. That's why in the GPF, our vision is one family under God, regardless of our religion, ethnicity, we are actually one family. So in all of program, this is the shared value that we always bring as the elements. And also the second thing is experiential. You've learned most effectively through meaningful experiences. Of course, through this kind of webinar, you can get some information, but actually what very meaningful is through the experiential learning. That's why we have our experiential learning program, like a GPV camp, a peace project, exchange program, because we feel that it's a more impactful. And third is a dignity first. Service must respect the dignity of communities and avoid creating dependency, because we are not going to be there like a 24 hours or like how to say, make them like depend on us. We don't want that, because what we want to do in the GPF is like creating owners, the owners of the vision, the owners of their community, the owners of the problem, so that they become the problem solver. And next, so why tourism? We actually see the opportunity because you've already traveled, like they are seeking for the adventure and also meaning in life, especially nowadays, Gen Z. By redesigning the travel experience, we can transform tourism from consumption to connection. That's what we believe. And this creates a natural space for learning, growth, and meaningful engagement with the communities. We realize you've already moved across places, but the question is, what if travel was designed to slow us down instead of rushing us? Many times, like we are traveling, but in one day we put like so many lists to go. It's actually like 8 lists maybe to go this place, this viral place, and those viral place. Is that really something that at the end of the day give meaning to us? At the end of the day, give learning process to us and growth. So that's something that also the things that made us came out with this tour help us. And also the learning journey. Travel creates natural disruption of comfort zones and exposure to new perspective and realities. I remember the first time that we had our program, thanks to GPF Malaysia with the Orang Asli. I have so many, new experience that I never felt before. And it's also like bring a new perspective to me. And I believe it's also my team in the GPF. And also, actually, we realized that tourism is a impactful peace vehicle to transform tourism from taking to giving, create sustainable community connections. So as mentioned before by the previous speaker, Brother Nick, through the program with Orang Asli, we built the connection, we built the relationship. Because peace is actually about like building a trust and also create this connection and relationship. So that's why next, that's the birth of True Hill Peace. Next. That is actually the origins of the True Hill Peace started as a GPF Indonesia project within the GPF Indonesia that seeking to engage youth in a meaningful peace work. And of course, we also like doing some experiments, like creating a laboratory for youth to test new approaches to community engagement through travel. So there's many times that while we are traveling, we also like planting the mangrove. And I remember we also do the farming in Malaysia and planting mangrove in Thailand, and also also planting a tree in the Philippines. So this all are the experiments, and I think it works because when I went back from those traveling or experience, it still remain. I mean, the feeling when we have our program together with the Orang Asli or with the local community, it stays for long. And there's a moment that I really miss that moment. And also that's why by experience, by experiment, we have a purpose, designing experiences that balance community benefit with transformative learning for the participants. And True Health Peace started as a small experiment inside the GPF Indonesia. There's no big branding, no business plan, just a question actually. Can travel help youth become more human? Can travel can help youth become a peace builder? So that's actually, I mean, the idea behind the birth of the True Health Peace. Next. I mentioned before, there's some lessons that we learn in the hard way that I also want to share with you. Through many activities, we realize that short visits can harm, like brief volunteer experiences often create dependency and can disrupt community dynamics. Without a proper context, youth may inadvertently cause more harm than good. So we feel like oh, that's why whether our program is really like giving impact to the community or not. And communities need consistency. Local partners require long-term relationship. Many times with if we just go them like for one-time projects, at least the community feels like oh, being used for volunteers or for like a personal growth experience. I still remember there's one time we have this All Lights Village project in Purwakarta, and at that time the mayor really angry to me. Is like pointing out at me like, do you want if you have a children, do you want your kids to be fed by people by other people? In this case, at that time, is Korean people. So yeah, if we don't have like this kind of brief or explanation of or building the relationship before, it may cause harm to the communities and also the local government actually. And for the participants itself, youth actually they need guidance too, like proper preparation, the cultural sensitivity training, and also ongoing mentorship are essential. Uh, and the volunteers require frameworks to process their experiences constructively. So next. So this is the evolution timeline of the Tour Health Biz. Started 2012. We have initial project, and as I mentioned before, in 2013 we have our first youth volunteer programs, Korean students coming, Japanese students coming, and then in 2013, during the time, we identified limitations and key challenges. So in 2021, we began transitioning uh planning process. That's the time actually I decided to take a master degree on the social entrepreneurship, especially in the tourism. And that's why in 2023, developed this social business model development. And finally, this year, we launched Tour Hill Peace as not just a project, but it's a social enterprise. So people might question why social entrepreneurship, NGO is a nonprofit, but actually I also pick up one word from Dr. Agus. It's not, I mean, this tourism activities is not just like a charity, but it needs to be like a sustainable through the social entrepreneurship, we can create like a sustainable impact beyond the short volunteer cycles. And at the same time, the accountability is there where we will be transparent operation, we'll have transparent operations and also transparent results that everyone can see. And the most important thing is the respectful relationships, the long-term community partnership. Because as we mentioned before, one of the lesson learned, if we just like do like a one-time visit, is actually not like really building a relationship, building a partnership, or doing the peace building. Often feels like it's just like the community is being used for the growth of the participants. That's why, yeah, that's why the importance of the social entrepreneurship. And next, so what we can see, what we can, how to say, project from the volunteerism tourism is actually the youth transformation from the savior mindset. Brother Nick mentioned about the feels like heroes, that kind of thing, to the humility and learning together with the community. And from the quick solutions into the sustainable approaches, and also the from resume building, of course. As the young people, we want to have a good resume, and then we want to have like a volunteering track record, so that when we apply to the how to say it, for the job, people will see, oh, you're joining a volunteer. It's a good things. But beyond that, it's not just a resume building, but it's like a personal growth that stay with you, not only in the resume or in your bio, but it's actually you carry it everywhere, that it will stay with you. And from the surface level engagement to the deep cultural exchange. Next. So our transformation approach here is from the project to social enterprise, where we're evolving for the greater impact and sustainability. We have transformed our model to ensure lasting positive change while maintaining our core values of respect, dignity, and mutual learning. That's why the social business partnership and the shared values is the keywords for it. Next. So if I mean, I believe that you got so many things already today, and all are like we call it daging meats. So if I can say, if you need to remember 3 things from my presentation, is the keyword is travel, service, and peace. Travel experiences can humble us, really, really can humble us. We thought maybe many times we thought that, oh, I'm good at planning, I'm good at the speaking another language, but actually through traveling you will realize that, I mean, you are not that great. The travel experience really can humble us, breaking down preconceptions and opening our minds to new perspective and ways of being. And first, travel. Second is the service. Meaningful service transforms not just communities, but also the servers, the participants themselves, creating reciprocal growth and understanding that I mentioned is like a stay with us. We might think like a service is like just giving, but it's actually, it will go back to us. That's what I experienced many times. And peace, true peace work begins with self-awareness and recognition of our own biases, privileges, and capacity for both harm and healing. So Through Hill's peace is still learning. But if you remember one thing today, let it be this. Peace building starts when we are willing to question ourselves, whether we are bringing harm or we are healing. Thank you very much. And back to the moderator.
Thank you, Sister Sitya Rahmi Utami, for the great presentation and introductory of Tour Hill Peace. It's really interesting to know about this kind of initiative transforming from travel, from consumption to connection that you already said. And Sister Cynthia also shared about why tourism can transform from taking to giving, because the most important is creating community connection rather than only visiting that place. And to help is come not from big idea, but from simple question. Can travel can help become more human and peace builders? That really interesting question, actually. And one-time visit is not enough. That's why the importance of social entrepreneurship is creating sustainable volunteering in that community rather than become hero, but become more humility and learning. And sustainable approach is important. And also most important is all the volunteers can grow and have personal growth engagement. So thank you, Cynthia, for your presentation and great explanation about Tour Hill Peace. So please stay with us and we'll present you a certificate for appreciation for your presentation this afternoon. So please take in picture. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you. And it's really great to hear from our three outstanding speakers. And I'm sure you already have your question in your mind. So as I mentioned previously, we will follow our discussion with a question and answer session. So if you have any question or curiosities, feel free to raise your hand or drop your question in our chat box, and we will read and the speakers will answer your question. So everyone, please feel free to give your question to the speakers. Oh, we already have the questions. Probably I can read first question from Luis Connect from Sierra Leone. Hello, all the way from Africa. Thank you for joining us, Luis. Luis asking about what is the one big difference between the charitable work and that of social entrepreneurship work? Okay, maybe this question I will give to Brother Nick first to answer Luis' question.
Oh, okay. Difference between charitable and social enterprise. Of course, for charitable, it's of course like respond to the immediate, especially the immediate needs of the people. And for social enterprise, is like I think should view kind of like more long-term, long-term sustainable solution. Yeah, am I answering? I mean,
Okay, thank you, Brother
Okay.
Nick, for
Thank
your
you.
answer. And for the next, probably Sister Cynthia, do you want to answer this question from Luis?
Yeah, if it's only like one word, that's why I mentioned about the sustainability. That's what we learned in this like 15 years. When we just like doing it as a charity, of course, at the one time we got like a grant, let's say from the Samsung Life Insurance and or for the Huawei last time, but that's it. That's the charity. and we cannot go back to the community again. But if we talk about the social entrepreneurship, because the community can earn revenue just like what Malaysia, GPF Malaysia is doing now, Orang Asli, through their chicken farm, through their syntropic farming, they receive revenue, so it can be more sustainable for the next program. So it becomes like not just one time, but it's like a sustainable. Yeah, if you ask me one word. But of course, there's many other aspects, like in terms of funding, in terms of like operationally, or in terms of like the risk and also the time frame. So yeah, but one big word for me is the sustainability itself.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Sister Cynthia. Dr. Agus Kani, do you want to answer the question
Okay.
from Luis?
My understanding is, this is my personal understanding. Charity linked with donation. Charity linked with part of the traditional philanthropies, while social entrepreneurs is, I call it a hybrid, is empowerment, to empower, let's say, a women empowerment program. But earning business, the business run through a social activities. That is a social entrepreneurs. While the charity is related to donation, or charitable is giving money, or it's a fundraising. So I link it to the traditional philanthropies. That's my personal understanding. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Agus Kani, for your answer. Hello, Luis, is the answer your question. I hope that's answer your question. For the next question, we have from Nigeria, Femi Olemekun. In areas where there is war, conflict, how can we ensure to make good use of tourism in such area? Probably I will give to Dr. Agus Kani first to answer this question.
Okay, thank you in this. This is again my personal perspective. Can we convert the problem to become some opportunities? Let's say a war, for example, between Cambodia and Thailand. So, to my perspective, again, my personal view, since you are is a generation of Alpha, or the Z generation, which is I call through UNWTO is the digital ambassadors. So can we make a story? Can we make a story in a very positive way? Can we make a story? Can we make a content in a very positive way to see how to expose again in a very positive way of the conflict. Samples, Cambodia and Thailand. There is a temple who owned by both countries. So then we can expose what is the temple also about, but not the war itself. That's my understanding. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Agus Kani, for your answer and giving example about the Cambodia and Thailand war. For the next, probably Sister Cynthia, do you want to answer this question?
Yeah, we have a lot of good work in Nigeria too, Global Peace Foundation. So, of course, during the war, we never do such a exchange program or tourism activity. But after the conflict is okay, then we can go there to like learn how is the conflict resolution is happening or happen on that area. So I think that that's one thing that we can offer, and that's actually what we are doing in the GPF too, to bring people to learn from like the peace building that other countries is doing, and actually like the connection or the relationship between the people to have like a humanized side as something that make people not afraid to go to that place. So Dr. Agus mentioned about Cambodia. There's many times like people like warn me when I travel by myself to Cambodia because of this and that. But because I have people there that already like my family, so I was not afraid to go to Cambodia because I feel safe. I have people there that treat me as family. So I think this element is also important to how to say to show the friendship and the relationship with other people, something like that. That's my personal experience.
All right. Thank you, Sister Cynthia, for your answer. And for the last, Brother Nicholas Lee, do you want to answer this question?
Yeah, it's a tough question. I mean, because oftentimes I can see a perspective like actually tourism and travel is a form of catalyst. It's supposed to catalyst, for peace building, right? It's efforts to promote about cultural understanding and the connection. So, but oftentimes when conflicts happen, it's definitely like we damage, the environment, and also, of course, we don't able to talk about tourism, even the economic is also affected tremendously. So, how to make good use? I think prevention is better than cure. So, I mean, by leverage on tourism, I think we uh, cannot just emphasize about like conventional tourism, like just talk about a beautiful scenery and so forth, but how to dive into cultural understanding, and then perhaps like create more kind of like deeper connection between people from different culture. Mm. Yeah, it's a very complicated question. Yeah, I cannot answer fully. Sorry for that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Brother Nicholas, for your answer. And I hope this answer the Femi question. For the next question, we have Luna Adinanggar from Indonesia. She's asking about in building this tourism community, are there any difficulties in mobilizing the community to carry out community-based tourism activities, especially in history and culture? Okay, probably I will give to Sister Cynthia first. Maybe you can share based on the Tour Hill Peace experience people. Are there any difficulties of this?
Yeah, so we have some communities for the peace building, and one thing that we learn, if there's no like benefit for them, it's a very hard to move them to move the community. But when they see there's a benefit for them as a community, then they actually can move. And actually, one more important thing is to find like a local champion. It's not like sometimes it's not like a legal leader there or like a ketua RT or RW, but sometimes it's like people I mean the figure that people look up to. So working with the local champion or local driver is actually is a key to move the community. Yeah, without that it's very hard.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Sister Cynthia. For the next, probably Dr. Agus Kani. Do you want to answer this question?
Okay, thank you. So I have been experiencing in three different areas when talking about the CBT. One in Tanjung Lesung, the second one when I was as director at Candi Borobudur, Prambanan Tuboko, and currently Pata is now working with Capri, the Penyengat Island, which is the small island with a great history. So let me explain when I work at Borobudur. So the key problem, when coming to the CBT is conflicting the lack of professionalism and no commercialization. Because the existence of CBT itself must be sustainable. Understanding sustainability, to my point, is economic development. When we have the economic development, whoever run, then sustainability can be exist. So when we manage the desa wisata in Borobudur at that time, during my time as the directors, so the understanding the community to the job, to the things of Borobudur, and because they don't have the professionalism in terms of tourism, in terms of cultures, in terms of history, and then they want to have something commercial, but they don't have the commerciality. So conflicting between lack of professionalism and commercialization, they don't exist. When they don't exist, no economic, no sustain. That is more of happening when we're dealing with CBT in Indonesia. That's part of Borobudur. Against in Tanjung Lesung, mobilizing it easy, but then to make that happen, to exist that project or to make that happening is because again lack of professionalism, because they belong to the middle lowers a group. They do understand, they tahu money, but they don't know how to make that happen. Lack of professional, tahu money, but they don't know how to commercialize it. So if two things, lack of professionalism and commercialization, happen but not exist, no sustain, no economy, susah. That was happening in Tanjung Lesung. No, Pata is not going to Penyengat Island is no to with all my colleagues here in Pata to build a CBT. Yes, again, when we call everybody to jump into the project, no respond positively. That's my experience in three different kota di Indonesia. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Dr. Agus Kani, for sharing your experience more on lacking of, information or education on the ground, like for the local communities to aware about this tourism infrastructure and industry. And for the last, our brother Nicholas Lee probably can have share some of insight from the perspective or from orang asli community.
Yeah, just short. So, as a facilitator or coordinator between the community and also the so-called participant or visitor, so I think manage the expectation is very important. So especially among the community, you have to really talk to them so that because it's involve the community. So the head you must involve, and then also the head must gather, the people, different families, and together, to understand uh, what they're going to expect, right? So and then same to the visitor, right? So and then when come to the program itself, uh, it's oftentimes back to the respect, right? Respect to the community for any kind of activities. So we must share this expectation to so-called visitor, right? Participant. So yeah, this I can see this is a challenging part, to facilitate. Mm.
Thank you, Brother Nicholas Lee, for sharing your experience. It's more on managing the expectation from both sides. And we have last question here from Ningsih Chandra from Indonesia. She's asking about what person mindset shifts are needed to become a responsible global traveler. If you were designing the future of tourism, what would they change first? You could be the agent of change. Okay, I'll give to Sister Cynthia first to answer the question.
Yeah, I actually still thinking which one that I want to pick up. Uh, if For me, if one thing need to be changed, the mindset of I mentioned before many times, like we are trying to catch so many viral places. So in one day we can go to like 8 places, and for me, maybe there's people who enjoy that, but for me, quality over, I mean, to be like in a one place and be mindful on that place and then learning the culture there, talk to the local people there will be more meaningful in just like catching 8 places and catching picture. So yeah, that's one of the responsible uh tourism, I think, because I values the depth over like the quantity of places that I visited. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, so change the mindset, quality over quantity for traveler. So for the next, I'll give to Brother Nicholas to answer this question.
Yeah, I think instead of to be a traveler or visitor, so he had to shift it to become a learner. Right? You're there to learn, and then also ask more and listen more and be curious. And then maybe in terms of like responsibility, uh, because it's different culture, different like then it's somehow you feel uncomfortable, right? In terms of food or whatever, right? And so uh, un- actually uncomfortable is not a problem, but important is whether you are, I mean, aware or not, right? Aware of and how to, I mean, respect the norm, right? The culture, and then to accept, right? Some lifestyle is a bit slow pace, right? Maybe for you, if you come from the crowded city, yeah, and you feel uncomfortable. So I mean, yeah, just blend into those culture. Yeah, be open. Mm. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Brother Nicholas, for your answer. It's more respect and learn the existing culture. And
Yeah.
for the last, I'll give to Dr. Agus Kani to answer this question.
Okay, I think it's a very simple question. The answers is join with the Global Fish Foundation webinar every time. That's the only answer.
All right. Thank you for your answer. Yeah, I agree that we'll get so many insight if you want to become a good traveler and better traveler. Join some of webinar like this webinar, UGen webinar. Okay, thank you for the participant who already asking the question. Is there any question more? I think because of the time, it's enough to have question and answer session. So again, thank you for our outstanding speakers for your answer and for your contribution this afternoon to have our such a meaningful discussion that we had about youth, about tourism, and about travel. I really grateful to get some of knowledge and also experience from our three outstanding speakers. And with that, it's time for me to say goodbye as your moderator. Thank you for the great enthusiasm for the participant, for your question during our Q&A session and during this session. So thank you. See you in the next discussion. I'll give back to Master of Ceremony, Cherin.
Okay, thank you very much, Isman, for your moderating for the session. And I really want to acknowledge your moderating really well for the session, especially for the Q&A and for the presentation and sharing session. And also, I want to acknowledge Kak Tia, Pak Agus Kani, and also Mr. Nicholas Lee for sharing your presentation, especially what did you do for volunteerism and tourism in Malaysia, Indonesia, and your perspective from Pata too, from Pak Agus Kani. And thank you for all speakers and participants for your contribution for inspiring us to work towards a culture of peace. Now, we would like to capture this moment with a virtual group photo before we move on to our next session, breakout room session. So please turn on your camera and I will count after we already open all of our camera. So please, to all participants, please open your camera so we can take a good picture together before we move on to our breakout room session. Okay, so I will count from 1 to 3, and please stay open your camera because we want to capture for 6 slides now. Okay, I will take a picture from the first slide first. 1, 2, 3, smile. And second slide, I will move on to the next slide. 1, 2, 3, smile, everyone. Okay, next slide. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, last slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much for everyone for taking a picture with us together. And your participation today has made this event truly special. So please don't leave our meeting yet, since we still have our other agenda, like breakout room session and quiz session, and also our feedback session. So thank you for being part of the recognition and group photo. We will now move on to the next segment of our program, the breakout room session. In this section, participants will have the opportunity to engage in more focused discussion led by our facilitators. We have 3 facilitators. The first facilitators will be me, and the second facilitator will be Koir, and the third facilitator will be Moody. And here are the questions. First question will be, what motivates young people today to join volunteer or purpose-driven tourism programs? And the last question will be, what risks or ethical challenges do you see in volunteer tourism, and how can youth help address them? And for this two questions, you will need to discuss it on your breakout room for 11 and 15 minutes to explore specific topics related to today's theme, youth tourism and volunteerism. And please check the chat for the links to your assigned breakout rooms, and we encourage you to make the most of this time together. So I will open the camera, the breakout room now. Okay, and so let's begin our breakout room session and enjoy your discussion. Thank you, everyone.
Good
Okay, hello again everyone. Welcome back to the main room. That was a very fruitful kind of discussion that we had on our breakout room session. And I hope you had a fruitful discussion in your respective breakout rooms and gain new insight or perspective from the session. So now it's time for us to share and reflect a bit together. If you would like to share your experience or reflection, feel free to raise your hand because we want to hear your perspective too in the main room because you only share it on the breakout room, right? So we want to know more your perspective on the main room. And feel free to raise your hand or leave a message in the chat box. So I will maybe call out one of our. Okay, so Moody already nominate one of his participant, Abdil Taki. Okay, maybe we can hear from Abdil Taki first or Femi Olumekun. Or we can give the chance to Rafli. Rafli, you can unmute yourself, please.
Okay, hello.
Yes.
Okay. Hello everyone. I want to share about my reason. So everyone, my name is Rafli. So I will answer about the first question. So what motivates young people today to join volunteer to propose their instructor program? So now young generation is increasingly motivated to join volunteer or destination travel programs because they see the very many experience and very many give impactful and very get knowledge and relationship to do it. So the young people see the program as not for not for just opportunity to learn, but is give a cross cultural understand and can develop soft skills and leadership. And then I will answer the second question. So, what risks or ethical challenge do you see in the volunteer tourism, and how can you help address them? So, volunteer tourism carries a several risks and challenges. There is also the risk of cultural insensitivity and the creation of dependency. Young people can play a crucial role in addressing this challenge by becoming more critical and ethical participants. And this includes choosing transparent community-driven programs that focus on long-term impact, actively listening to community voice, and approaching volunteering with humility rather than just not of safer mindsets. And then young people can also advocate for ethical standards and continue learning and responsible storytelling, ensuring that volunteer respect the dignity of local community. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Rafli, for sharing your answer about the first and the second question. Actually, that was really answering the question, and I really like how you share your perspective in this main room. And thank you very much. And I want to acknowledge you for taking a brief step for sharing your answer here. Thank you very much, Rafli. Okay, so we have another participants who maybe want to share their perspective. Abdul Taki, how about you? Are you there? Okay, I will spotlight you. Okay. Hi, Abdul Taki. Can you unmute yourself?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I'll just say what I wrote in the breakout room. I essentially just said mainly that for younger people to be interested to join volunteer or purpose-driven travel program is if there's, a lot of people would say experience, and that's like the main thing. But that experience would be a little it would motivate them a little bit more if that experience is something that they can use to if it's like, how do I say it, like qualitative. Like you could show, they could show like the evidence of the trip, and the trip could be able to be used to open doors. Maybe like that trip is there's people on that trip that they could network or talk to. That's one of the things is that like because of the current situation in like the world right now, it'd be most young people are looking for a way to make most of their experiences mean something. So that's one is that the trip must be able to be used for experience that is like evidential. There's evidence of it. For the risk and ethical challenges, I would say there's mainly two. For volunteer work, I would say that whoever we're recruiting, um, they should have some sort of qualifications depending on where they're going and what the trip asks of them. Because number one, uh, trips like this could be harm to local communities because they might be dependent on us, and rather than long-term solutions, like they would be dependent on the short-term volunteers to replace local workers. And the program might prioritize volunteer experience over community needs, which also is a big no-no. This should be like a joint thing. Like the effort must be from the two of us, not they should not grow dependent on the volunteers. Lack of skills and qualifications, like I said as well. Volunteers are something placed in roles, and they need to be taught construction and everything. Well, depending on what they need to be taught, without proper training, can reduce the service quality or even cause harm. I think depending on where they're going, if it's like a trip that's going to somewhere kind of foreign that does not speak English, there's either help the locals learn English, or whoever is going on the trip must learn some basic language of the place that they're going. Just so that it would be fair.
Okay, thank you very much, Abdul Taki, for sharing your thoughts on the question for the breakout session. And I really want to acknowledge you for sharing your answer. Really, it's really clear for me to understand your answer for the question, and it's really explain the risk and how can you help address the risk of the ethical challenge. And thank you very much, Abdel, for sharing here in the main room too. And okay, so now we will move on to our next part of the session, which are thank you very much for the participation and insights in our breakout room session. I hope you all enjoy it as much as I did for the participants, for the facilitators, and for the speakers. Before we conclude our webinar, I would like to invite everyone to take part in our one last activity that was completing the post-assessment and feedback form as a requirement to retrieve your e-certificates. So please take a moment to complete this feedback form regarding your experience at the seminar, as it helps us to improve for future events. So you will have 5 minutes until 10 minutes to complete the form, and please scan the QR code or check the link to the feedback form on your phone or on your laptop, and kindly please check your Gmail inbox or spam folder to make sure that you have received your certificate, because we won't take any kind of message or email or chat or WhatsApp that will ask for certificates after this, after we end our webinar. So yeah, you will need to check and make sure that you receive your certificate after the webinar, before the webinar ends, I mean. And we appreciate your time and input. We look forward to hearing your thoughts. And last but not least, before we end our webinar, I would like to say thank you very much to our speakers for the time, insights, and presentation, and also inspiration that they shared with us today. We will also extend our appreciation to all participants, to all of our collaboration and partner who join us from various communities, schools, universities that across Indonesia and other countries. So thank you very much for all of your support for today's webinar, and we hope today's conversation and webinar has strengthened our shared commitment to celebrating and reinforcing the spirit of volunteerism and to create contributions that are more inclusive, impactful, and mutually empowering. So thank you very much, and I will see you on the next UGen activity. Thank you everyone, and bye for now. Untuk teman-teman yang mungkin dari Indonesia, I will explain it in Indonesian for Indonesian participant. Untuk teman-teman yang dari Indonesia, jadi kami sudah menampilkan di layar teman-teman sebuah form, yaitu form yang bisa teman-teman akses, dan di dalam form tersebut teman-teman akan mendapatkan e-sertifikat setelah itu. Jadi setelah teman-teman mengisi pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang ada di form tersebut, teman-teman bisa langsung cek di Gmail-nya atau di spam foldernya apakah e-sertifikatnya sudah diterima di Gmail teman-teman. Dan dimohon untuk teman-teman pastikan bahwa teman-teman sudah mendapatkan e-sertifikat tersebut, karena setelah webinar ini selesai, kami tidak akan menerima sama sekali WhatsApp atau email yang meminta sertifikat atau link form atau link e-sertifikatnya. Jadi setelah webinar ini kami selesai, kami sudah tutup webinarnya, tidak ada pertanyaan lagi mengenai e-sertifikat ya teman-teman ya. Dan terima kasih sudah bergabung dalam webinar kami kali ini. Semoga setelah ini kita juga bisa berjumpa kembali di UGen webinar selanjutnya. Terima kasih semuanya. Sampai jumpa di webinar selanjutnya. Oke, jadi teman-teman, bagi yang bertanya, mungkin ini apa sih? Ini tuh link atau QR apa sih gitu ya? Jadi link ini akan menuju ke e-sertifikatnya, dan juga tentunya sebagai absennya teman-teman juga karena telah mengikuti webinar kali ini. Jadi kalau misalnya teman-teman mau mendapatkan e-sertifikatnya atau mau absen atau mau mendapatkan link presensinya, berikut ini adalah QR code menuju ke link presensi atau link klaim sertifikat atau link untuk mendapatkan sertifikat teman-teman gitu. Jadi teman-teman silahkan diakses linknya s.id/claimsertif 21 Jan, dan di situ teman-teman bisa mengisi pertanyaan-pertanyaannya dan akan mendapatkan sertifikatnya di Gmailnya teman-teman masing-masing atau di aplikasi emailnya teman-teman masing-masing bila menggunakan Yahoo atau email lainnya begitu. Jadi silahkan teman-teman akses link tersebut gitu. Halo Kak Agustami, silahkan mencari di Google atau di browsernya Kak Agustami s.id/ atau garis miring CLAIMCERTIF 21 Jan. Lalu teman-teman bisa langsung mendapatkan sertifikatnya di emailnya Kak Agustami ya. Kak Kurniawati silahkan mengakses ke link tersebut. Bagi teman-teman yang sudah mengisi link tersebut, teman-teman bisa langsung keluar dari ruang Zoom dan bisa beristirahat karena setelah ini sudah waktunya untuk sholat, dan bagi teman-teman yang sholat. Baik, terima kasih kamu Tiara Aisyah. Terima kasih Kak Abdil sudah bergabung di webinar kami kali ini.